Thank you for watching, and welcome to our little corner of magic. October's chill continues. Jean versus the diet. Prelude to chaos.
Jean's mind has spun the whole walk home.
Handle it? How? What does that even mean?
She had pressed lightly, arching a brow, but he has only given her that faint smirk and kept walking. Silence, mystery, and 1,000 unanswered questions trailed after in the crisp October night. The answer came the following morning. Tucked beneath her mortar and pestle on her potions workbench was a small slip of parchment. In Severus's sharp clinical script read, "Strict regimen. Diet begins immediately. S." Jean blinked.
So, this was how he intended to handle it.
For the next few days, she discovered the full measure of his plan. Lighter meals, bitter teas, measured portions, and daily walks that left her lungs burning. Even the elves in the kitchen exchanged pitying glances when serving her. The house elf places the pitiful plate down with a sigh.
Boiled chicken, a single carrot, bitter tea. Poor Miss Jean. This not food, this punishment.
The other house elf clutches the cup of tea, ears drooping.
Professor Snape say, no cream, no sugar, no joy. We only follow orders.
She said with a pitying look, setting the cup beside the chicken.
Shh, she comes soon. Best we not cry in her dinner. One taste, and she know.
Jean stares at her plate, her voice flat.
Tell me this is a prank.
The one house elf shakes his head solemnly.
Professor Snape's orders, miss.
Jean picks up the boiled chicken with 2 fingers, unimpressed.
Merlin's beard. Even Azkaban serves better than this.
The other house elf murmured sympathetically.
Miss Jean, we're sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry, darlings. Save that for when you see me faint halfway through dance practice.
Jean sighing, dropping the chicken on the plate. The house elves gave her looks of sympathy. Their hands were tied. Professor Snape's orders were iron law in the cookhouse, and his eyes seemed to follow Jean everywhere. Whether at the high table or in the corridors, there was no escaping his watchful glare. Jean had been lured once again by the temptation of Honeyduke's window. The sweets glittered behind the glass like treasure. From the shadows came Severus's low, cutting voice. Pathetic. Jean smirked without turning.
Careful, Professor. If I'm pathetic from staring, what does that make you for spying?
He steps closer. It makes me the one keeping you alive, ensuring you don't ruin yourself with every sugary whim. Jean tilted her head, still cheeky.
Alive? Yes. Happy? Not so much.
His glare hardened, sharp as a blade. Without another word, he swept past her, disappearing into the snow. Jean let out a breath, fogging the glass once more. Her stomach growled. The cakes still shimmered, unreachable. That night, when the castle slept, Jean slipped out into the frosty night, her cloak pulled tight as she hurried down the lane. Snow crunched softly under her boots, muffling her guilty footsteps. Honeyduke's glowed warmly ahead, its windows frosted but still displaying towers of sweets, cakes, and sugared delights. Moments later, she emerged, clutching her spoils. A bright red lollipop already stuck between her lips and a small paper bag rattling with chocolate frogs. She tiptoed back through the corridors, heart pounding at every creak of wood. Finally reaching her private quarters, she pushed the door closed behind her and let out a sigh of relief, only to immediately trip over the rug. She stumbled headlong, the bag splitting open, frogs springing loose with noisy croaks that echoed through the room.
Merlin's beard. Shh.
She hissed, diving after them. But it was too late. A sharp knock rattled the door, and then the door opened. Severus stood framed in the doorway, arms folded, his black eyes narrowed as they swept over the scene. Jean sprawled on the floor, frogs leaping in all directions, a lollipop still jammed between her teeth. Slowly she yanked it from her mouth, trying to hide it behind her back.
Evening.
She said with exaggerated innocence. His voice was like a blade. Hand it over. Her eyes sparkled mischievously.
This?
She held up the lollipop, sticky and glistening, before deliberately pressing it into his palm, sugar side down. His expression tightened, but he didn't move, his long fingers curling around the sweet. For a brief, dangerous moment, their eyes locked, her defiance against his quiet fury, both of them charged with something unspoken. A frog croaked loudly under the bed, breaking the spell. Jean stifled a laugh, clapped her hands over her mouth, scrambled to shove the bag underneath her blankets. Severus, with a final withering glare, turned on his heel. "Clean up your mess," he ordered, voice low. "And tomorrow, you and I will be having words." The door clicked shut behind him. Jean leaned back against the bedpost, grinning around the edges of her guilt, the faint taste of sugar still on her lips. She whispered,
Worth it.
popping another frog into her mouth.
Love what you see, like and subscribe and be a part of our journey. It's far from being over.